you switch around the house, you see. Switch the switches, fix the door, and make a lot of trips to the trustworthy store. When we're stuck, they helped us out with all the stuff we don't know about. My dad trusts the problem solver, and I trust my dad.
Trustworthy saves you time and money. We're the problem solvers.
So, what do you guys feel like doing, huh?
I'm hungry.
You're always hungry.
What do you feel like?
Burgers. I could go for some chicken.
Okay, let's do it.
So, where are we going?
Roy Rogers, where else?
Hey, why don't we try someplace different, huh?
Swing into spring with style and savings during Dash's early spring sale. Save 40 to 60% off everything in stock. Polywool designer suits, $189. Poly cotton designer dress shirts are 3 for $35. Polywool designer dress pants with knee lining, a mere $45. Poly cotton designer golf shirts are now 3 for $33. It's Dash's early spring sale, where you'll save 40 to 60% off everything in stock.
Mr. Dave Christian for Providence Savings.
If you think offsides and two-line passes are hard to understand, you should try asking a banker about mortgage rates. Unless, of course, you're asking for a Providence Savings mortgage. They have so many rates and terms, you can almost pick your own and get it fast. At Providence, you get the loan you need, not just something off the shelf. At Providence, we all wear one number, number 1.
Providence Savings, member FSLIC.
1 for 1.
The Capitals come out flying. They get goals right off the bat from Rod Langway, and then a power play goal by Bengt Gustafsson, and have taken a 2-0 lead over the New York Islanders here at the Nassau County Coliseum. Welcome back to Capitals Hockey on DC20. I'm Al Koken, and joined during this first intermission by Capitals assistant coach Terry Murray. Obviously a great start to a big hockey game for your team, and I thought the quick puck movement really was the key to that success in the first period.
We knew coming in here that we had to really play well in the first period, and the Islanders like to come at you quickly and get up early if they can, and then they hold off and play very well defensively in this building. And just a tremendous first period, as you say. We moved the puck very well out of our own zone, got it to the forwards, and had some great opportunities out there.
Harry, what has been the story on this road trip? The last time the Capitals had a long road trip, a very disappointing performance, going 2-4. Here you're in a situation to come up with a 4-1 record on the last big trip of the year. What has been the success? What has been behind it?
I think overall team play has been excellent. We're not doing anything very selfishly. There's not a lot of individual play out there. It's 20 guys really combining and moving the puck, as we just pointed out, and getting some great goaltending, and it's all just falling in place for us right now.
That's the thing I guess a lot of people forget, and it's tough to remember too, I guess, when you're going through it, just how long that regular season is, and some of the mistakes that happen early can be forgiven with good play down the stretch. Is it something, though, over the years now you and Brian have worked on to try and get your team, instead of peaking too early, to start peaking at this time of year?
Well, you certainly want to peak at them. It's very important for the Washington Capitals to do well all season long. It's important for the players, for the coaches, and especially for the fans. We just have to be successful at all times. But as you say, the important thing is just to peak at the right time, going into the home stretch, especially with all these division games in March coming up and going into the playoffs. I think if we continue with our good team play that we've shown here this first period, we're looking for good things down in the latter part of the season.
Now, Terry Murray took a little side trip to the Capitals farm team in Binghamton last night. Who are some of the guys who can we expect to see in the near future for the Capitals that are playing well down in Bingo?
Well, actually, to be very honest, they're all playing quite well. They've been 6-1-1 since Doug Jarvis has taken over, and they won very convincingly last night, 6-2 against the top team in the Northern Division. Younger players, Al, they've shown some good things. They've shown good improvements at the start of the year, but they certainly need to continue to play, and hopefully in the next year or two that we can get one or two of those guys out of there. It's going to be up to the players. They have the opportunity to make that step, and if they continue to play the way they are right now, we'll see a few of them in the future.
All right, Terry, always appreciate the visit, and for being our guest, Terry Murray receives a $50 gift certificate from Dash's Designer Menswear, where they have a tradition in quality menswear. And we'll return with more intermission activity from the Nassau Coliseum after these messages here on DC20.
These days, people talk a lot about truth in labeling. At Budweiser, we started our own truth in labeling program over 100 years ago. And what was true 100 years ago is still true today. Budweiser, the king of beers.
Me? I love trains. Look at this. Little engine, little caboose, little church, little trees. Well, I took some pictures and I went to Ritz Camera, where they make the Ritz big print. You know, 37% bigger than normal pictures. Well, I took one look at this big print and I said to myself, hey, what am I doing? Now everything I do is big.
Get the Ritz big print. You'll never go back to little again. When it comes to autofocus cameras, some give you part of the action, but Canon EOS gives you all of the action. When it's so dark that some can't focus, EOS doesn't miss a trick. And Canon EOS has computers and motors in every lens for fast focus. So great shots are easy and so creative, the competition is out of the picture. EOS, more than autofocus, easier than ever. Buy EOS today with no money down, low monthly payments at participating Canon dealers.
So let's dance.
Turn on DC-20 for outrageous comedy.
Cut that off!
Oh, this is the worst looking hat I ever saw. Oh, it looks good on you, though.
Sunday at 4, it's the slobs versus the snobs.
You cut the hamstring on the back of his leg right at the bottom. He'll never play golf again.
With Chevy Chase, Rodney Dangerfield, Ted Knight, and Bill Murray. Caddyshack, Sunday at 4 on DC-20.
Here at the Nassau County Coliseum, the Capitals have jumped ahead of the New York Islanders 2-0. Rod Langway opens the scoring. Then on the power play, Bengt Gustafsson on a pretty passing play from Hunter and Stevens puts Washington up by 2 goals. Coming back from this road trip, the Capitals will play the New Jersey Devils at the Capitol Center this coming Tuesday, and tickets are available for that game. You can pick them up at all Hex, Phone Charge, and all Ticket Center outlets. Phone charge number 432-0200, and as a special inducement, the Capitals and Kinney Shoes have teamed up to give you some Capitals athletic socks with the Capitals logo on it. Now, they say it looks like it's just only going to fit a guy like Manute Bol, but one size should fit all. Some nice socks for your attendance at the game against New Jersey on Tuesday. And as we mentioned, tickets are available. We'll be back to rejoin my partner, Mike Bournes, and discuss that first period, look ahead to the second, after these messages.
Come to Chevy City and check this pack before you buy. Come.
There's a new civilization where people have evolved beyond the need to stand in line. Mastered the art of being served when they wish. Developed technology for continuous communications. And conquered space for work and relaxation. Amtrak's Metroliner service, the most advanced civilization from Washington to New York.
All aboard Amtrak.
There's a whole new look in men's pants, and George & Company has it.
Who remembers their actual first girlfriend? Her name was Louise. Went to a makeout party.
Levi's Dockers, comfortable pants for all occasions. At George & Company, big and tall shops.
I would have done better, but I was bald then, too.
Levi's 100% cotton Dockers. If you're not wearing Dockers, you're just wearing pants.
My first kiss, I remember. Was there a girl involved? There was a girl involved. In everyone's life, there's the summer of 42.
Big and tall Levi's Dockers. At all George & Company locations.
Do you know about Giant's checkout coupons? They're different from other coupons because they're printed for you here at the register, and they're based on what you purchase. Checkout coupons are paid for by manufacturers to encourage you to try their products. For example, you might buy a brand of peanut butter that triggers a coupon for another brand of peanut butter or for a related product like jelly. To find out more about checkout coupons, just pick up this brochure and start saving.
Checkout coupons, another way to save, only at Giant Food.
There's nothing like Pizza Hut pan pizza.
Making it thick, making it tall, making it splash and having it all. Making it heat, making it steam. Sizzle and drizzle, steam and steaming. Making it early, making it late. Pizza Hut, making it great.
The A great taste of pan pizza. 2 layers of cheese, lots of toppings, and a chewy crust. It's America's favorite.
It's a 2-0 hockey game. The Washington Capitals have the lead over the New York Islanders here at the Nassau Coliseum tonight. Mike Fornes and Al Koken welcoming you back once again to our hockey telecast here on DC-20. Well, the Caps got right to it tonight in beating the Islanders. They're getting off to a good start against beating them. 2-0 the lead. Let's get right to the highlights. Rod Langway sets up in front of the net to get the first goal.
Get big scoring from an unexpected source, but Langway makes the smart play you expect from a veteran. He makes a terrific pass to Mike Ridley. Rudy makes the save once, now stops Gartner, but Langway sees he's got some people back there, so he just crashes the net. He knows the Islanders are scrambling, and he gets himself in a position. Nobody pushes him out, and he just turns the pass from Gartner right into the open net. Good play by the veteran defenseman for his 3rd goal of the year. Now watch this passing, how quickly the Capitals get out of the zone and set up on the power play. You've already seen 3 passes forward, now to Stevens. Scott Stevens will see Bengt Gustafsson cutting across, and look how quickly. Now, we've shown this to you in slow motion. Imagine what it looked like in real time. They just come flying in there, and the Capitals make a terrific passing play to get themselves established on the power play and take the 2-0 lead.
Caps outshoot the Islanders during the first period, 13-10. We'll be back and take a look at the out-of-town scores from other games tonight after we pause for these words.
Hey, Fred, give me a pizza with extra cheese.
Extra cheese.
And hold the tomato sauce.
Hold the tomato sauce.
And hold the crust.
Hold the crust. Hey, Jimmy, give me a cheese with nut.
Nothing. Now you can have the best part of the pizza without the pizza. Polly-O string cheese, all natural, individually wrapped cheese snacks.
Is this what you want?
Bellissimo. Magnifique.
C'est bon. Try Polly-O string cheese. It's the best part of the pizza.
When the sun goes down into the light of the night, silver label, red ribbon, a taste that's right. Gonna light up the night. Sing a little light. Gonna light up the night. Light up the night. Sing a little light, light, light. Gonna light up the night. Sing a little light.
976 song. Waxy Max's music review, kicking jazz, soul blues, rock and more. Just play, you can win, you can really score.
What I feel. If that was the DB's I Lie, press 1. This month's grand prize is Sansui's new SX900 Quartz synthesizer stereo receiver. This week's prize is Brown's portable compact disc AM/FM cassette player. The MCA Record of the Day, Jody Watley's Looking for a New Love. Copyright the Jelly Group, $2 per call.
It's a pathway that leads from here to tomorrow, from sea to shining sea. The great American road belongs to you. It's the feeling of smoothness, of power and grace. The road up ahead is the man. The great American road belongs to you.
Because sometimes the shortest distance between 2 points is not a line, TWA created the Advanced Boarding Pass. Today's TWA. Find out how good we really are.
Too much of a bounce.
Tonight's Capitals hockey game is brought to you in part by the Masonry Institute. Watch out, Washington, brick and block our back. By your Washington area Buick dealers. By K Jewelers, the Diamond People. By Safeway. And by Toyota. There's quality, and then there's Toyota quality. Who could ask for anything more?
Let's check the out-of-town scoreboard. In the other games, there was one played this afternoon at the Boston Garden. The Bruins and the Minnesota North Stars. And Jeff Courtnall comes up with a hat trick to lead the Bruins over Minnesota 7-4, the final score. In the first period, Buffalo's at Hartford tonight. They are scoreless. Winnipeg at Montreal, also no score in the first period. Later on, it'll be St. Louis at Toronto, Detroit at Quebec, and Philadelphia at Los Angeles. Well, the Capitals outshot the New York Islanders during the first period 13-10. And that gets them off to a pretty good start in addition to that 2-0 lead that they've taken.
One of those goals, of course, coming on a power play. Neither the Islanders nor the Capitals, Al, are known for taking a lot of penalties. Washington averaging 20.9 penalty minutes per game, and that is the least amount of penalties taken in the NHL. The Islanders right in there. They are the second best in the National Hockey League, 21.2 penalty minutes per game. So theoretically, we shouldn't see a lot of penalties called in this game, but those statistics don't take into account the fact that Mick Vukota is playing tonight.
And wants to relay a message to the Washington Capital team that I think he's a little disappointed they didn't sign. They had an opportunity to sign him, sent him back to junior team. He was a free agent, came to training camp and fought absolutely everybody. They thought they still had the inside track on him, but the New York Islanders made a bid before the Capitals got in there. They never heard back from the Capitals. Mick Vukota said he was waiting to hear back. He wanted to play for the Washington Capitals, but when the offer came up from the Islanders and nothing came through from the Washington Capitals, he said he had to make some sort of decision. So he's happy to be here in Long Island, but really wanted to be a member of the Capitals.
Play underway back in the Washington zone. We've just begun tonight's second period. Here's Larry Murphy throwing it between the skates of Mike Ridley all the way back inside the Islander zone. And now Potvin starts out. Right wing pass out to Kerr. He gets to center ice. Gilbert drops a pass intended for Trottier at the blue line, and Scott Stevens flips it outside the zone. It's sent right back in. Now the whistle blows and play is called. We'll have a face-off on the delayed offside just outside the Washington zone.
A lot of members of the Washington Capitals fan club up here. Plenty of Capital fans in attendance. If you would like to say hello to folks back in Washington. Will Shawn, Joey Harriet, and Lena for the Upper Marlboro Stingers hockey team. And Paul, Teresa, and Michelle Legue send greetings to friends back in Washington, particularly Paul and Elaine Pelletier of Springfield, Virginia, and the Schlobohm family down in Jacksonville, Florida. They're watching us on satellite dish. Jack and Kim, their parents back in Laurel, Maryland, and Rodney White, his brother Joey, along with the Capitals fan club here. Say hello to their mother, Juanita Sandin, back in Edgewater, Maryland.
Here's Rod Langway to the blue line, but not out. It's cleared in. Dalgarno chases behind the net. And as it's finally touched now, again delayed offside. Rod Langway coming up with the game's first goal, his third of the season, on assists from Mike Gartner and Mike Ridley, as the Capitals struck just 3 minutes and 27 seconds into the action tonight. And Langway's goal followed by a power play effort from Bengt Gustafsson. Caps lead 2-0. We're just underway with the second period. LaFontaine out there now to work against Gustafsson, and Gus gets the draw, brings it back, and Langway goes behind the goal to get it. Rod Langway, right wing pass, skims off the stick of Christian and sails all the way down. Here's Didick back in his own zone, tries to elude Gustafsson, but Pavanka keeps it in. Dalgarno pokes it to the point. Christian winds up, fires the shot. Hrudey makes the glove save. Now it's played back behind the goal. Off the boards, it's cleared past Dalgarno all the way into the Washington end, and Rod Langway is there after it. Over to Kevin Hatcher. Outside the zone, Christian sends it off a stick. It goes back in. The Islanders are called for offside. As Christian tried to keep the play going, the Islanders took it in, but already had a man in the zone. We'll have a face-off in neutral ice.
Rod Langway, not only the captain of the Washington Capitals, but captained his team to victory in the little golf tournament the Capitals had, where they are out in Palm Springs. You know, a lot of people thinking, you know, what's a hockey team doing in the middle of a season, taking time off, going out and playing golf? I tell you, it's the type of thing that can come back and only have positive effects on a team. You get them away from the game, give them a couple days off, let them be fresh and relaxed for the stretch run. It's a great time of year to do it. Remember how the Oilers did it last year with Gretzky, and it paid off in the Stanley Cup.
Here's a shot that's blocked right in front of the net, and just as the puck comes loose, Don Koharski blows the whistle, ruling that Dineen has covered the puck and stopped play. And we'll have a face-off to the left of Kelly Hrudey with 18:11 to go in the second period.
There's the block by Gord Dineen. Was all set to be one of the most incredible goats of a hockey game the other night here against the Chicago Blackhawks when he inadvertently put a backhander past his own goaltender, Billy Smith, and at that time, late in the hockey game, gave the Chicago Blackhawks a 1-0 lead, but Alan Kerr bailed him out on it. for a 1-1 tie.
Could be a big point. Corriveau starts out now to Ledyard. Ledyard to the blue line, and Hunter was drawn in by Sutter, causing Washington to be offside. And another face-off upcoming here in neutral ice. Dale Hunter leads the Capitals in penalty minutes with 188 on the season. Has 18 goals on the year and 28 assists for 46 points.
And his absence from the Adams division certainly hasn't made some of the teams fonder. The Hartford Whalers polled recently talking about who are some of the dirtiest players in the league, and immediately comes back the name of Dale Hunter, their old nemesis from the Quebec Nordiques.
Here's Dineen off the skates of Vukota, and back inside the Washington zone again. Curran plays it off the right wing boards, and Vukota flips it out to center ice. Dineen pokes it back into the corner. Wrist shot caught by Rudy. Sundstrom had the stick up and tried to deflect that downward, and Rudy was able to make the save, and now Adams gets in there nose to nose with Curran to talk things over. There's a break in the action with a score. The Capitals 2 and the Islanders nothing.
You know what kills me about most TV commercials? They always show women eating salads and yogurt. You know what I say to that?
People are always asking me, what's the secret to a long life? Well, I'll tell you. Never drink, never smoke, and never, ever learn to cook.
$17:27 left to go in period 2. The Caps still on top of the New York Islanders, 2-0. Be a popular man in Calgary right now, wouldn't he?
Oh. They like to trade the pins.
Big win for the Canadian Olympic team today. Still in the hunt for a bronze medal as they knocked off Czechoslovakia.
Here's a wrist shot by Gartner. It's deflected up off the glass. And now Kerr sends it end over end back into the Washington zone. Kevin Hatcher's right there to play it and flips it out to center ice. The Capitals have the lead 2-0 over the Islanders here in period number 2. Hatcher shovels it to the corner. It's led past Miller to the point. Leiter keeps it in. Now Trottier to Kerr. He fires, and Malarchuk with the save. Mike Gartner leads it out to Ridley. Caps it back inside Islander ice. Here's Leiter. Plays it off the glass, and that'll go all the way back to the Washington line. Scott Stevens over to Kevin Hatcher. Ridley comes in and tries to help. Kerr is knocked down by Hatcher, and Gilbert gets off a high shot that soars over the goal. Now Trottier to the side of the Washington net. Kerr into battle for it, and Hatcher works it free. Taken by Miller out to center ice to Mike Gartner, and that pass across 2 lines. The faceoff will come back inside the Washington zone with 16:19 to go here in period 2. There is Alain Raymond sitting on the bench, who came up from Fort Wayne Comets to the International Hockey League. He played in Kalamazoo last night. They bus back to Fort Wayne. He caught the 7 o'clock flight this morning and went Fort Wayne to Dayton.
And then Dayton to
came
New York.
in Dayton to New York and got here and still went on the ice for practice.
About halfway through the morning skate, Alain Raymond came on the ice to a few cheers and jeers. He was with Clint Malarchuk playing tonight. Pete Peters injured. Malarchuk was off the ice, so the Capital shooters finally had a goaltender to work with.
Puck cleared out to center. Pavanka gets a stick on it, and now over to Gustafson. Inside the line, he's quickly challenged by Didick, and it's taken over now by rookie defenseman Jeff Finley. He flips out to center. Ledyard plays it back to the line, and starting back now is LaFontaine. Swept away by Gustafson. And Didick goes back into his own zone. Langway and Gustafson have provided the Washington scoring power, and the goals both came in the first period. Here's Michael Pavanka stealing. Starts ahead now to Dave Christian. Christian, a wrist shot. That's wide of Rudy in the Islander net. Randy Wood to take over. Flips it out to center. It's back inside the Capital zone, and Scott Stevens There to play it over to Greg Smith. He goes rink wide, and Stevens hustles over to pick it up. Stevens out to center. Gets across the line, and linesman Pat DiPuzzo rules that Bob Gould was still inside the Islander zone, and that puts Washington offside.
Be interested to see what kind of consideration Scott Stevens gets for the Norris Trophy. I think for the last month of the year, particularly with the games that the Capitals have missed Rod Langway, Scott Stevens has really shown me some tremendous ability. The ability has been there, but he has done it on such a consistent basis, and I think has got to be considered as a prime Norris Trophy candidate for top defenseman in the league.
Here's Bob Gould on the right wing. Gould starts ahead to center ice. Poke check by King. He starts back from Sutter. King in alone. Fires. Malarchuk makes the save. Over to Greg Smith, and he flips to center ice, hoping to catch Hunter for a break away the other end. But it gets all the way down the ice, and icing is called against Washington. There's a break in the action with the score. The Capitals 2, the Islanders nothing.
A new civilization where people have evolved beyond the need to stand in line. Mastered the art of being served when they wish. Developed technology for continuous communications. And conquered space for work and relaxation. Amtrak's Metroliner service, the most advanced civilization from Washington to New York.
All aboard Amtrak.
The Caps return home from this 5-game road swing Tuesday night to take on the New Jersey Devils. 7:35 game time. We showed you the Sox at intermission, all that courtesy of Kinney Shoes for all fans in attendance. Still plenty of good seats left for this game and all the remaining home games. You pick up your tickets at all area Hex, ticket centers, or by calling phone charge 432-0200 with operators on duty tonight until 10 p.m.
At the point, Dineen keeps it in. Now it goes to the corner. Here's Curran to King, or rather Sutter to King, and now thrown behind the Washington net. Kevin Hatcher makes the play to the point. Curran keeps it in. Sutter with it in the corner, now looking for Derek King. He's checked on the play by Langway, and Rod Langway takes it and starts ahead to Kelly Miller. Over on the right wing side. Play broken up at center ice. And thrown back in by Sutter to the Washington zone. Langway in there first to get it, chased by Lauer, but skates free and starts out. Lead pass to center ice for Miller is across 2 lines. And it's offside. The faceoff goes back into the Washington zone with 14 minutes and 1 second left here in the second period. Al, talking about that Olympic progress, the Washington Capitals on Monday will have Steve Leach, their Olympic entry, playing for the U.S. Olympic hockey team. Back in a Washington uniform, he'll be at practice on Monday and can be expected perhaps soon to see some action for the Capitals.
And I think Brian Murray and what he has seen and what he's heard from David Poile and Jack Button, they've been very impressed with the overall improvement of the game of Stephen Leach. Some of the contests I've seen, in particular those pre-Olympic games, Stephen Leach showed me a little more speed than he exhibited before in his time in the Washington Capitals uniform, and ability to do some things with the puck that I didn't see. And that, again, just goes along with the maturity. But he's been playing Olympic hockey and world-class hockey at a very high pace, a very good skating type of pace, and I think that can be a tremendous advantage for the Washington Capitals to add that type of depth to their team coming down the stretch on the forward lines.
I would think he should come in with a lot of confidence. And he'll be at practice on Monday. Slap shot right on goal. The save made by Rudy, and now Leiter hustles in for the rebound. Brings it out to center ice. Greg Adams drives it right back into the Islander zone. Rudy plays it up the boards for Potvin. Passes on the right wing side. It gets away from Vukota and sails all the way down, but Malarchuk brings it back behind the net. Stevens up the boards. Out to Sundstrom at center ice. Peter Sundstrom puts it back inside Islander territory. Francischetti pokes it behind the goal. Here's Finley to go after it. Now Sundstrom throws it right to the side of the net, and Rudy blocks that free. Basson and Sundstrom tangle behind the play. Here's Francischetti back inside his own zone. Hit by Basson and tied up in the corner. Scott Stevens, a lead pass out to Sundstrom. Up ahead on the right wing for Kelly Miller. Miller with a good move to try and get past Curran, but Curran really didn't take the fake and ties him up. Now they jam up in the corner. Sundstrom in to try and work it free. Trottier is on hand for the Islanders and gets his stick in there. Curran comes in and roughs up Sundstrom, pushing and shoving. Out the outlet on the right wing now comes to Kerr. He moves to center ice. Here's Trottier across the Washington line. On his backhand, fires! And a save made there by Malarchuk. The Capitals come back. A pass gets away from Ridley and goes all the way down the ice, and Leiter is back to get it. Puck cleared to center ice. Here comes Kerr in one-on-one on Greg Smith, and he fires, and the shot blocked by Malarchuk. Ridley comes up with a rebound all the way to center ice. Feeds it to Pavanka, looking for Ridley. Taken by Mike Gartner of the Capitals. He's inside the Islander zone. Gartner's wrist shot strikes Ridley right in front of the New York net, and now here's Gilbert to start out. Greg Gilbert. Right wing pass. Ahead for Trottier, but Gilbert was already across the line, and that's offside against New York with 11:40 to go here in the second period. Clint Malarchuk, a lifetime record against the Islanders of 2 wins, 4 losses, and no ties, and a 4.23 goals against average. He stops this hard drive that probably to Malarchuk looked like it was coming out of the legs of Greg Smith.
Exactly. Kerr did a nice job of using Smith as the screen, and it looks like it may change direction just a little bit as it comes in with the stick and skates of Greg Smith. Some big saves in. He made a backhand stop on Brian Trottier, and certainly Brian Murray did not blame Clint Malarchuk at all in that loss in Los Angeles. Felt that the team did not play with the same forcefulness and sharpness that they did in these shutout games in Minnesota and Winnipeg. And of course, with the injury to Pete Peters, we don't know how severe and how long it's going to keep Pete out, but Malarchuk obviously will be taking a big chunk of the goaltending time for the next week, it looks at least.
Stan Wong figures that the injury itself will take perhaps 3 to 4 days to heal. And then, of course, there'd be some time involved for Peters to get back into the swing of things in practice before he would play. Shot deflected off Hatcher's skate, comes back to the corner, and Gustafsson pokes it all the way into the penalty box. And now we've got a fight going with Dalgarno out there swinging with Kevin Hatcher, and Hatcher winds up on top. Only a couple of punches being struck there before the 2 players tumbled to the ice, and the linesman got in to try and pull them apart. And Gord Brosiker and Pat DiPuzzo have contained Dalgarno and Hatcher. There's a break in the action with a score. The Capitals 2 and the Islanders nothing.
The 1988 Toyota Celica. Its powerful 16-valve, 135-horsepower engine propels you to the limit, while you glory in Celica's sleek, aerodynamic shape. The 1988 Toyota Celica. The power and the glory. Toyota quality. Who could ask for anything more?
Be sure to be with WDCA TV 20 Friday night, March 4th, as the Bullets travel to Indianapolis to take on Wayman Tisdale, Chucky Person, and the Indiana Pacers. It's live at 7:30. Join Mel Proctor and Phil Chenier as they call all the action right here on your superstation for sports, DC 20. The Bullets, of course, battling for the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference, battling with Philadelphia and the New York Knicks to pick up the 8th and final playoff berth.
Well, the Capitals are going to be a man short here. Kevin Hatcher and Brad Dalgarno each given 5 minutes for fighting, but Hatcher tagged with an additional minor penalty for slashing. 8:57 of the second period, the time of the calls. And Ivan Korovo will serve the minor penalty now on Hatcher's behalf. First penalty calls of the second period. Here's Sutter on the power play for New York. Over to Brian Trottier at the side of the net. Sutter chases it behind the goal. He's tied up by Larry Murphy. Trottier on the backboards, back into the corner, now back to the left point. Potvin keeps it in, over to Leiter. Sutter into the corner. Trottier has it behind the goal, chased by Stevens. Tries to poke it out front. Scott Stevens does a good job of blocking the pass and clears to the point, but not out. Now Potvin fires on goal. Save by Malarchuk. Rebound. That hit the side of the net. Trottier sent one right off the side of the Washington goal. Into the corner for Trottier, looking for Sutter. And it's cleared to the blue line, but not out. kept in by Leiter and now sent out of there by Kelly Miller of Washington. 1 minute to go in the Islander power play. Gustafson jams up with Trottier at center. Sutter gets a stick on it, trying to bring it back to Leiter. And finally, Ken Leiter takes over for New York. Long right wing pass for Sutter. Brent Sutter into the corner. Tied up by Stevens, and it's worked out to Gustafson. The shorthanded Capitals taking their time here, and Gustafson lobs it in from center ice with 35 seconds to go in the penalty call to Kevin Hatcher. Ivan Korovo serving the minors. Hatcher and Dalgarno each with fighting majors. Here's Brad Lauer. Fires, and Malarchuk has that one deflected right in front. It went up over his shoulder and into the crowd.
Rod Langway arguing for an offsides call.
It looked as though Lauer was plenty ahead of the play. As he took the puck, the Capitals were almost in disbelief, wondering why the whistle hadn't blown, and Malarchuk at first appeared to be concerned as to why the shot even was taken, and looked like the puck from that angle, which is a hard one to tell, certainly not as good as what the linesman had, but it looked like the puck came across the line first.
It did, and you can see there why Clint Malarchuk was ducking as it goes in the skates of the Capitals defenseman and changes direction high up over the glass.
You throw that puck in on the angle like that off the boards, and that man who's across that line looks like he's got a real advantage, but that puck can come across the line first before the player. It's not offside. Here's Finley. To King, back again to Jeff Finley. He fires, and that shot blocked. It hit LaFontaine, and the Islanders center is down and now back up and limping to the New York bench. 7 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Brad Lauer. Left wing side to Trottier. Greg Smith takes over and clears it all the way back down the ice. Out of the box is Korovo. He goes to the corner. Throws a hard hit but misses Gerald Diduck and crashes into the corner boards. Now the puck stolen, brought to the point. Here's a pass to Scott Stevens. A deke, a shot, a save by Rudy, and he covers up. There's a break in the action with the score. The Capitals 2 and the Islanders nothing.
You know, Art, I used to think cable TV was great for sports.
Yeah, me too, Dale. And the dishes we got from Davis Antenna really give us more sports than ever before.
Everything cable got us, and a whole lot more.
Davis Antenna gives us all the sports.
Golf on Thursdays and Fridays.
And baseball, hockey, boxing, rodeo, soccer, and softball.
And my favorite, fishing.
So, sports fans, do what we did. Call your sports connection Davis Antenna today.
And get more sports than you've ever imagined. Call today, 1-800-4ANTENNA.
Kelly Rudy turns in his biggest save of the game at a critical time. The Capitals had just killed off a New York Islander penalty. Ivan Korovo serving the slashing call for Hatcher's out of the box. He initiates the play. Look at the movement to Ledyard, over to Stevens, and Kelly Rudy stands his ground to stop a good backhand attempt by Scott Stevens. Caps worked it perfectly, had everybody concentrated down low, swung it back to the defense. Ledyard found Stevens sneaking in, and Kelly Rudy just makes another big save to keep it a 2-0 game with the Caps on top.
Here's Ken Leiter for New York to start out. Over to Gilbert. Now back into the corner for Trottier. He throws it behind the net, and Dennis Potvin sets up. Trottier skates in, but leaves the puck, and here's Potvin's pass to Leiter. Back up the boards. Ridley intercepts it now on the boards. Walks in, tries to go to Gartner, but it's blocked. In behind the goal, Leiter struggles to pick it up. Now Gilbert takes charge. He finds Alan Kerr. Kerr gets tied up in the corner with the referee Don Koharski, who takes a spill, and Kerr skates to center. In across the Washington line to Trottier, fires! Malarchuk just got a piece of that, sending it wide. The puck cleared all the way back inside the Islanders zone. Scott Stevens cranks up a hard shot. Rudy makes the save, and Dineen, his own defenseman, backs right into the New York goaltender. Here's Gartner. Off the boards to center ice. Washington is at full strength, of course, with Korovo long since coming back, but Hatcher's still in the box for the Capitals, as well as Dalgarno of New York, after they still have time to serve on their fighting majors. Greg Smith for Washington. Leads it ahead to center, too far for Gustafson. Gus picks it up, fakes, fires, and a save by Rudy. He smothers it with the glove to stop play.
Getting another example of how the Capitals' speed can exploit the New York Islander defense. They are not the fleetest of defensemen. And Bengt Gustafson shows you here, catches Dineen. Now watch, he tries a little change of pace, gets a fake and then puts a little soft shot, hoping that on that fake, Kelly Rudy would open the pads up, but Rudy does a good job of holding his ground and making the save.
Kelly Hrudey does not have a winning record lifetime against the Capitals. 5 wins, 9 losses, and 1 tie with a 3.35 goals against average. You can take all the numbers, though, and throw them out the window when you look at his performance last year in Game 7 of that first-round series between the Caps and the Islanders. He and Bob Mason certainly putting together a performance that will be long remembered.
That's why it's so big that the Capitals got on him early. He's showing the signs again of catching some heat, and he can be awful tough when he gets on a roll, so the Capitals at least have a 2-0 lead to work with. This is a great angle. They put in a plane of plexiglass behind the goal here at the Nassau County Coliseum, and it's great. You get those good angles, show you what those goaltenders have to go through, how hard the shots come in, and the maze of players in front, and the change of direction it takes. There's the installation of the glass.
That's the best seat in the house right there.
There.
Can't buy that ticket, though.
Of course, you need small cameramen.
Yeah. Here's Christian to Pavanka. Shot and a goal! Michael Pavanka from Dave Christian. And the Capitals take the lead 3-0.
Boy, the Capitals forechecking has come on in the last 3 or 4 minutes of this period. They really have bottled up the Islanders, created turnovers, and watch how quickly they get it back in. New York can't get the puck out. Christian moves in. Perfect pass, and Kelly Hrudey was over there for the Christian play. Michael Pavanka puts a perfect shot in there. This is from that angle. You'll see how far Hrudey has got to come over. And that quick pass from David Christian right onto the stick of Pavanka, who wastes no time. He holds it and makes sure he's got the good shot, but gets it away quickly. And the Capitals with the big 3-0 lead now. They withstood an early Islander flurry, withstood an Islander power play with some great penalty killing, and now have put the charge on to go on top by 3.
It's Pavanka's 8th of the year. Dave Christian gets an assist, and so does Bengt Gustafsson at 12:52. The Capitals come back again. Here comes Hunter to center ice. Dumps it across the line, back inside the New York zone, and Hrudey plays it up the boards, but Bob Gould keeps it in. Dumps it behind the net. Here's Hunter. Throwing it off the backboards. Dale Henry skates after it, brings it ahead to Brent Sutter. Sutter across the blue line. Scott Stevens steals, gives to Rod Langway. And he starts out now to Hunter. Flips it ahead. Here comes Bob Gould racing up with Corvo. 2-on-2. And the pass doesn't get to Corvo. Curran blocks it with his skate. Here's Sutter coming back for New York. The Islanders are offside, and play is called with 6:07 to go in the second period. There's a break in the action. The Capitals lead the Islanders 3-0.
Ever since your post office invented express mail overnight delivery, others have tried to copy our Eagle, but it's not so easy. You see, express mail overnight reliability is close to perfect, with the most convenient locations and prices as low as $10.75. About half what most others charge. So we're pretty hard to imitate. So use the original express mail service from your post office.
Ron LaPointe brings the Quebec Nordiques into the Capitol Center for their final visit of the year. 8:05 is the game time on Friday night, the 4th of March, and the Caps coffee mug is courtesy of Roy Rogers for all fans in attendance. You can get your tickets at phone charge number 432-0200.
Puck knocked down by a high Islander stick. Randy Wood brings it to the ice, but then it is touched by Sundstrom. Now Wood forced to play it, and the whistle finally blows to stop play. The Capitals want to know why there wasn't a delay of game penalty called, because they really weren't putting any pressure on Wood to make the play.
This is perfect. Now watch the two of them. Just look at the puck. Look at each other. You going to take it?
Your move.
No, I'm not going to touch it. Greg Smith comes in, challenges. Well, okay, you take it now.
Capitals trying to squeeze another line change in here, but it's not allowed by Koharski. Crowd tonight, 15,723 at the Nassau Coliseum. Greg Smith puts it behind the Washington goal. Caps in the lead 3-0 with 5:35 to play in the second period. Derek King back to the point. Potvin Has to chase it. He's bumped hard by Francischetti. Now Basson in there to collide, and as he jumps on the pile, the whistle blows, stopping play. Basson throws a high stick to the back of the head of Murphy. Kind of cross-checked him right across the back of the head. The linesmen get in there quickly.
Pat DiPuzzo and Don Koharski talking about things, but I don't know if any penalty calls are going to be made. Larry Murphy now heading back to the Capitol bench as Brian Murray is able to get fresh troops on.
Terry Simpson, the coach of the Islanders, this year has his club with 30 victories, 23 losses, and 9 ties. The Capitals at 30 wins, 26 losses, and 6 ties. Mike Gartner flips it off the boards to the blue line, and as it's taken right back in, the Islanders are offside. Well, the Islanders believe in honoring their own players, certainly. They have not retired any uniforms in this building, Al, but are planning a night for Mike Bossy coming up in the month of March. And, of course, Bossy hasn't played at all this year. I wonder if that's some sort of a tip-off that it could be almost like a retirement party for him.
Pretty tough to come back when your sweater's hanging in the wind up here, isn't it?
I don't know that they're going to retire his jersey, but they are planning a Mike Bossy night and giving away a poster of him, and Bossy hasn't played a game all year.
Talk about those retiring of jerseys, though. If they do it to Bossy, you know, Trotskey's got a few more years left. Potvin is going out. Those 3 numbers certainly in the next few seasons will be hanging from the rafters in the Nassau County Coliseum.
You bet. Here's Gilbert charging to the Washington line, and he's taken down by Grant Ledyard. That's going to cost the Capitals here. It'll be a minor penalty for holding. Hooking is the call at 15:21 of the second period. The Islander power play when we come back. There's a break in the action. The Capitals 3, the Islanders nothing.
Still driving that Hyundai, huh, big guy? Yep. Did you notice the machine I bought? No. Oh, man. I'm talking sexy. I mean, fight off the female sexy car. Where is it? Oh, it's in the shop right now.
The Hyundai Excel isn't built to impress the neighbors. It's built to impress its owners.
Wouldn't be heading downtown, huh, big guy?
The dependable Excel from Hyundai. Cars that make sense.
Hooking is the call to Grant Ledyard. 15:21, the time of the penalty. Another chance for the Islanders to get on the scoreboard here in this second period. They've had both power play opportunities presented in the second stanza. The Capitals did a great penalty killing job in the earlier one with the Kevin Hatcher call.
Ledyard's penalty for hooking at 15:21 of the second period, and the Islanders ready to go here with a man advantage. Leiter keeps it in at the blue line. Back of the net for King. Trottier skates after it, but it's picked up and cleared by Gould. Outside the line, Potvin throws it right back in. That's offside against New York. Now Dennis Potvin going the other route, announcing his retirement before the season even started, and has already started to be honored in various buildings around the National Hockey League. In fact, the other night in Hartford, the Whalers presented Potvin with a very nice fishing outfit. I don't know if they were trying to tell him that they were glad he was going to go fishing, but Potvin has certainly an illustrious career and should be very proud, I'm sure, of all his accomplishments. Although I don't know that the Capitals, will they give him anything the last time they come in other than a resounding chorus of boos?
Yeah,
you know, it's not a real favorite in Washington, you know.
Capitals are such a class organization, you expect them to think about doing something like that, but when they think about the memory of Dennis Potvin breaking the leg of Bengt Gustafsson a few years ago, it's awful tough to imagine a real warm and toasty reception from the fans for number 5. They're just happy to get rid of him.
Here's Leiter across the line. Stolen puck, cleared off the boards. Gustafsson tripped up at center ice. There's going to be a penalty call against New York. A delayed call. Out of the nets comes Malarchuk. Gustafsson knocked down a second time. And there's going to be a minor penalty for tripping that will negate the final 120 of the Ledyard penalty, and then after that the Capitals will wind up with a power play. Now, had Gustafsson got another step or two, number one, he probably wouldn't have been caught, and if he had, it would have set the stage for a penalty shot. He's right at center ice, and Potvin got him. And Gus just about sprung free in an attempt to score a shorthanded goal. Tripping is the call against Potvin. And it comes at 16:01 of period number 2. Be interesting to kind of keep a logbook, Al, on Potvin's gifts. Like when Julius Erving retired in the NBA, some teams gave him a trip.
Oh, trips.
You know, gave him different things. I thought the best was the piece of the parquet floor from Boston Garden.
Now the Caps now with a slashing call to Mike Ridley, so this is going to be some interesting hockey right now when you got 4-on-3 as Ridley's going to head in the box for slashing. And it doesn't look like any Islander is going to join him. Kowarski making the solo call on Mike Ridley. Play that happened towards center ice.
16:05, the time of the call. Slashing to Ridley.
Let's see it. Sticks come up a bit, and Mike Ridley brings it down.
Well, see, it would still be possible for the Capitals to do something for Potvin the same way that the Celtics did for Irving. Could give him a piece of the ice at the Capital Center, a snowball.
Get Phil Harpold to clean out that Zamboni, put it in the box, and
that's how the Caps fans feel about it. We congratulate Dennis Potvin. He's had a tremendous career, but certainly didn't earn any particular favor from Washington fans when he broke the leg of Gustafson some years ago.
Although, you know, the guy who's probably the least bitter about the whole thing is Bengt Gustafson himself. He just says, you know, it's hockey. 4-on-3 hockey. This is wide open spaces here. Islanders with a great chance to jump back in it.
Sutter skates across the blue line. LaFontaine sets up in front. There's the pass, the shot, and a save by Malarchuk. He stopped LaFontaine, and Trottier got off the drive from the other side of the net. Now Sutter back at the point, trying to spread the Capitals out. Diddick drives it into Scott Stevens, and Stevens in turn sends it all the way down the ice. Now in 40 seconds, Ledyard comes back for Washington. Here's Sutter to LaFontaine. Back to Diddick. He shoots. Deflected just wide. Rebound taken behind the net by Trottier. All the way to the blue line. Diddick fakes the shot. Lets it go just wide. Trottier again back to Diddick. He fires, and Malarchuk makes the glove save.
Two outstanding saves by Clint Malarchuk with the pads and with the catching glove. The Capitals trying to take care of Pat LaFontaine in front. Watch Scott Stevens massaging him with the stick. Rod Langway goes down to try and block it. And Clint Malarchuk snares it out of the air at the last minute. Terrific play by Malarchuk. He'd made a big save earlier on the Islanders. This is something, though, that even though the Islanders got some good chances here, you miss Potvin in this situation. You certainly miss Janssen in this situation. Of course, you'll always miss Mike Bossy in any time of man advantage. But here's the Trottier move, and watch the way Clint Malarchuk is going to get out and kick this shot out. Now here's Potvin working it. They're working it back and forth. All the room goes to Diddick, and then this is the man who will send the shot in that Malarchuk makes a brilliant kick save on.
15 seconds until Ledyard comes back. Here's the drive, and Malarchuk again finds the puck and covers up.
Well, they're getting set up the way the Islanders want to work it, get that big shot in, and have the other three guys scramble to get the rebound. But Malarchuk has not given them anything to work with in terms of rebounds. And right now, the duo of Scott Stevens and Kevin Hatcher certainly doing a good job of clearing things out in front.
The draw comes back to the point. Here's Dineen. Over to the left wing corner, a puck centered and cleared out of there by Mike Ridley. Sends it all the way down. That ends the penalty call to Ledyard. Grant Ledyard back on the ice for Washington. And the Capitals now with 4 skaters. The Islanders have 4. Now both Potvin and Ridley will come out almost in succession. Just 4 seconds separating their 2 penalty times. Here comes Basson to center ice. Potvin comes out first. Dineen to the blue line. Hatcher stops him right at the line, putting the cross check on him. And the whistle blows. The play was called back anyway, offside. So now we've got 18 seconds left on Potvin's call and 22 seconds left on the penalty to Ridley. Gartner is on for Washington with Miller, and Scott Stevens with Kevin Hatcher. Wood and LaFontaine for New York, with Didick back along with Jeff Finley. Capitals 3, Islanders nothing. 2:15 to play, second period. Here's Stevens behind the Washington net. Leads it over to Hatcher. He moves it up on the right wing side to Mike Gartner. He sprints to the blue line, gets inside the Islander zone, but Kelly Miller is ruled offside at the Islander line.
Now this is what I'm talking about. With the earlier save with Malarchuk, it's going to be Trottier is the man who is set up. Slides it in. And then look at the backhand shot that Malarchuk gets those pads in the body in front of.
The draw won by New York, and Didick sends it off the boards and all the way down. Malarchuk plays it. The penalty's over to Potvin. He's back, and now Ridley jumps out on the ice, and both teams are at full and equal strength. All the penalties are over. Rudy off the glass to the blue line. LaFontaine turns it around, brings it ahead. Here's Derek King into the Washington zone, and it is cleared by Hatcher. Ridley ties up with Curran right along the sideboards, and finally the puck froze in there, and play is stopped.
Well, the New York Islanders almost got caught for too many men on the ice. Rookie Jeff Finley and Brian Curran both stepped on at the same time before one of the other defensemen popped out, and it was very, very close.
Taking a look at Curran there, you might think at first glance that his face shield had slipped down all the way down around his jaw, but he intends to wear it that way. He's trying to protect himself from a jaw injury. He was just called up from Springfield to the American Hockey League on February 24th. Rod Dahlman, another Islander rookie, sent back to Springfield just yesterday. And here's Curran, number 34. Slides it up the boards, but Bob Gould keeps it in, puts it behind the net. 1:15 to go here in the second period. Hunter to Gould, tied up by Sutter. Rudy flips it up the boards to the point. It's kept out by Lauer and cleared ahead on the left wing to King. King heads to the net, right to Lauer in front. We're in the final minute of play in the period. The puck centered and taken out of there by Larry Murphy. Here comes Murphy of the Capitals to center ice. Dumps it back inside the Islander zone. Dineen circles the net. Long lead pass off the stick of Sutter. Goes all the way back into the Washington end. And Greg Adams is there to retrieve it. Adams for the Capitals. Plays it to the point, but not out. Leiter keeps it in. 30 seconds to go in period number 2. Puck centered right in front. Scott Stevens is able to clean house and just clears it all the way down. Racing after it now is Gilbert. He gets there first. Icing is the call against Washington with 18 seconds left in the second period. Clint Malarchuk with 3 shutouts on the season. Now pulls into a tie with both Fuhr and Reggie Lemlin, who also have 3 shutouts on the year.
It's been interesting, the goaltending pattern, hasn't it, Mike? The way one goaltender is hot and then an injury or something happens and the other goaltender steps in and does just as well, if not better. Pete Peters was coming off a magnificent streak, then got struck with the flu bug and left the game in New Jersey after the first period. Clint Malarchuk came in, did 2 good periods of relief work, and then went on his back-to-back shutout binge.
It's almost like they know when the bell rings and it's their turn. Capitals goaltenders, number 1 in the National Hockey League with a 3.00 goals against mark, and that includes the marks of both Malarchuk, Peters, and Alain Raymond. That's the end of the second period. The Caps get the only goal on Michael Pavanka's 8th of the season and lead the Islanders 3-0. Shots on goal during the second period. Washington with 7, a 2-period total of 20, and the Islanders with 9, a 2-period total of 19. More hockey after this.